Welcome back, guys. This is TKoW here, and this is What If Naruto Was Never the Same. This is a fanfiction what if I found on fanfiction.net, and it's created by Jiraiya's lost student. This fanfiction called Underneath the Underneath. I will be leaving a link in the description below, so please go support the creator. And here is a little summary. Naruto has always been a little different, but what happens when the Naruto everyone knew in the academy wasn't the real Naruto? Starting at the Mizuki incident, Naruto will have to fight his way to the top, one way or another. When fighting with S-rank ninja, facing the Sanin, and going against the full-on demons to become the norm, and trained by the best of the best, how far can he go? Anyway, this is a pretty long fanfiction with over 150,000 words, and anyway, it's pretty good, I'll tell you that. And anyway, let's get straight into it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Link in the description below, and also a Discord server is linked in the description below if you want to join it. But anyway, 100 likes for part 2. Let's get straight into it.
"You are the nine-tailed fox," shouted Mizuki from his position in the treetops, laughing maniacally as he pulled his second giant shuriken off of his back. "No," yelled Iruka weakly, having taken the first of Mizuki's shuriken to the back. I'm not," stated Naruto calmly, much to the shock of both Chunin, but especially Mizuki, who was hoping to mentally cripple the blonde idiot to make his escape easier. Mizuki recovered quickly, hoping to convince the blonde that was the QB, redoubled his efforts. "Yes, you are. The Yondaime sealed the nine-tailed fox in me the day of the attack, and yatta yatta yatta. I already knew that idiot. I've known for like 6 years now. Hell, I've talked to the damn thing. I was doing it while I was waiting for you to get here. How am I not supposed to know about it?" stated Naruto. "However, I also know that it's an S-class secret, so I guess that means I have to kill you, or bring you to Ibiki. I still owe him 20 Ryo from that damn poker game last month." To say that both Iruka and Mizuki were confused was like saying that all Kage only disliked paperwork. They were searching their brains for anything that they could think of that would explain the child in front of them. After all, this was Naruto, the idiot prankster who didn't have a care in the world. How could he know he was a container, even talk to the fox? Who is Naruto? Mizuki decided that he was bluffing and to call him on it. "Yay right, demon, you're a failure. You couldn't touch me, let alone kill me. Do you really think a failure could beat a Chunin? You must be dumber than I though." In the blink of an eye, Naruto was behind him, holding a kunai to the throat of the Tradiao's Chunin. "Mizuki, do you enjoy using your legs?" questioned Naruto, his tone cool and careless, not unlike a certain silver-haired Junin. "No shit, I like my legs, you piece of shush." He was cut off when Naruto slipped the kunai in his other hand into the base of Mizuki's spine, effectively paralyzing the man. Naruto pushed him off the tree limb, letting him fall with no way of safely landing, and in a matter of seconds 3 things happened. Iruka saw Mizuki's legs collapse beneath him, Naruto pushed him off the branch they were standing on, and when Mizuki was about 3 feet from hitting the ground, Naruto appeared and threw an incredibly hard uppercut to the exposed jaw of Mizuki, sending him back into the air, only for him to return to the ground hard when out of nowhere, and Anbu dropped Mizuki to the ground with a wicked axe kick to the base of his skull, sending the wayward Chunin into sweet unconsciousness. "Nice shot, dog, though I really wanted to be the one to knock him out," stated Naruto in a positive tone. Now, Fox, no need to be sad. After all, with this you're finally out of Anbu, just like you wanted, though you might not like the team you're with now," said Dog, removing his mask, revealing a very amused Kakashi Hitaki. "After all, it won't be easy going from Anbu to being on a Genin team. You should thank the heavens that the Sandaime let me be your sensei. You could have gotten Asuma, and he is literally part Nara." Now, Iruka was many things, and an idiot was not one of them. In fact, at one point, the academy teacher was once an Anbu, though he always said he wasn't cut out for it. So seeing his former Anbu captain refer to Naruto as Fox, a name only ever given to one other Anbu ever, he was quite confused. "What the hell? What is going on? Ah, Iruka, nice to see you again. Come with us, you've already seen enough, you might as well know everything else. Besides, it will be nice to catch up with my old student," stated the lazy scarecrow as he began walking back to the village. Naruto, you carry the traitor. Iruka had just entered the office of the Hokage, only to once again be surprised by what he was seeing. Kakashi and Naruto, standing at attention. This is not the part that surprised Iruka though. What surprised him was that the Hokage was handing Kakashi a Jonin flak jacket, and Naruto too. Headbands, one the normal leaf headband, though it had black fabric, showing Naruto was a specialist. The other was a strange golden headband, with an unknown symbol on it. The symbol was type of swirl, it looked almost three-dimensional, though it obviously wasn't, seeing as it was on a flat surface. It was after seeing the second headband that he finally decided to listen to what was being said. Kakashi, Naruto, this was your last mission as Anbu. I'm very proud of both of you, and I don't believe I would be overstepping my boundaries to say that you two were close to, if not the best operatives I've seen in the last decade. With this mission, you are both listed in the Konoha official ninja book. Kakashi, you will retake the rank of elite Junin, allowing you command of troops in wartime. Naruto, I'm sorry but you will have to be a Genin, but you will keep your Anbu level clearance, stated the aged Cage, a smile on his face. Ah, that's so unfair. I'm head and shoulders ahead of the others in my class. Did you know how hard it was to act that dumb? I'm sure everyone in the class thinks I'm an idiot, stated the still childish Naruto, though the way his chakra flared reminded everyone just how strong he was. May I ask what's going on here? Shouted Iruka, completely confused as to what was happening around him. Kakashi looked at the Chunin teacher like he grew a second head, then it clicked that everyone but the Hokage and Anbu were kept in the dark. He grinned sheepishly, not that you could tell, and rubbed the back of his head in an embarrassed way, something that Naruto mirrored. Sure, since we're no longer Anbu, I see no reason why not. Lord Hokage, I see no reason why not. How about you, Naruto-kun? Asked the aged Cage. Sure, as long as he promises not to repeat what he hears in this room, stated Naruto. Iruka was shocked yet again by the tone of voice that his student spoke, a tone he remembered from his days in Anbu, one of complete and total confidence. Iruka nodded dumbly and took a seat. Somehow he knew this was going to warrant a seating position. Well, might as well tell you all the important details first. What do you know about Minato Namikaze? Naruto was sitting top row, as far into a left corner as possible. He was the first one there. He sat waiting for the first person to enter the room. Though he had only been there for 5 or 10 minutes, he was extremely bored. Naruto thought to himself, I wonder how long until they question me about why I'm here. I don't exactly have the smartest classmates. Maybe they won't even recognize me. That would be hilarious. The truth is that most people wouldn't recognize him. After he had made it home last night, he had changed his wardrobe. No more was the orange and blue jumpsuit, but instead a modified version of his Anbu uniform. Dark blue cargo pants with an orange stripe, starting from the hip and ending in a point just under the side of his knee. A black muscle shirt almost completely covered by a dark grey Anbu vest. Dark blue arm sleeves that went from his wrist to his elbow, all of which had orange stitching. Black shinobi sandals, and the final touch, 2 headbands, the first being the standard leaf headband, rightfully on his forehead. The second was the gold-plated swirl headband, which was tied around his right bicep. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's a headband from Uzushiogakure. He was still stuck in his musings as one of his classmates entered the room. He looked to see Shino Aburame looking at him with a raised eyebrow, which to an Aburame meant total shock. Naruto chose to ignore him and speak to his tenant. Closing his eyes and resting his head on his forearms, he began to slip into the dreamlike state that granted him access to his slumbering prisoner. Oi! Fox, wake up, I got a while before I need to do anything and I have a few questions, stated Naruto as he walked up to the giant prison cell of the great beast. And just what might those be? I swear, if you repeat any of the questions from last night, threatened the calm yet booming voice of the Nine-Tails Fox. In all honesty, the mass of chakra enjoyed his time talking to his container. It was a much better alternative to doing nothing all day. First off, could you find anything about that weird thing that happened on the mission in Grass Country? Asked Naruto, who had been racking his brain for the last 6 months after the event. I have nothing solid, though I do have a hunch. Your mother was a full-blooded Uzumaki, correct? Asked the fox. From what I could tell, and my dad was the grandson of your first prison's brother-in-law. What do you think? Asked the hyperactive blonde. It's only a rumor, almost a myth, but a long time ago, there was a family that combined the blood of the Senju and the Uchiha, stated the fox. Yay, the Uzumaki, you already told me this, stated Naruto with a sweat drop. just making sure you remember. Anyways, it was said that certain members of the family had a strange power that seemed to come from almost nowhere. The only evidence that it even really existed was that the eyes of the person would change slightly. Informed QB, defined slightly. Is it like the Sharingan? That wouldn't explain everything else. Got anything else? Asked Naruto. Just under one tail, your body is still unable to handle any more than that, though you can use 2 tails on your berserker mode. Is that all? Asked the demon. Yep, thanks Kurama, you're a big help, said Naruto as he faded out of his mindscape. Was that a crack at my size? Wake up, shouted Kiba into Naruto's ear, who appeared to be sleeping. Why is he even here? We all know he didn't pass the exam. What's he doing here? Asked a girl named Raya, her high voice hurting everyone else's ears. He probably thinks just because he's dressed like an Anbu that they'll let him on a team, stated a boy named Trode. Everyone sit down and shut up, shouted Iruka as he entered the classroom. Okay, I have a major headache and I would like to get this over with. Just remember that I am proud of all of you for passing and being on your way to your ninja career. Hey Iruka-sensei, Naruto didn't graduate, why is he here? Shouted Kiba as he pointed to the blonde in the back left corner of the room, who appeared to have just woken up. Iruka looked towards the smirking Naruto. Something about the smirk on his face and that he didn't really care for Kiba picking on a fellow ninja made Iruka want to go along with his own little prank. That's odd, he has a headband, and he's on the list, even assigned to a team. But if Kiba said it, it must be true. I'm sorry Naruto, but you're just going to have to put up with idiots the rest of your life. Everyone was stunned. Iruka just made fun of a class member. And he said that Naruto had actually passed. Was it opposite day? Just under one tail, your body is still unable to handle any more than that, though you can use 2 tails on your berserker mode. Is that all? Asked the demon. Yep, thanks Kurama, you're a big help, said Naruto as he faded out of his mindscape. Was that a crack at my size? Wake up, shouted Kiba into Naruto's ear, who appeared to be sleeping. Why is he even here? We all know he didn't pass the exam. What's he doing here? Asked a girl named Raya, her high voice hurting everyone else's ears. He probably thinks just because he's dressed like an Anbu that they'll let him on a team, stated a boy named Trode. Everyone sit down and shut up, shouted Iruka as he entered the classroom. Okay, I have a major headache and I would like to get this over with. Just remember that I am proud of all of you for passing and being on your way to your ninja career. Hey Iruka-sensei, Naruto didn't graduate, why is he here? Shouted Kiba as he pointed to the blonde in the back left corner of the room, who appeared to have just woken up. Iruka looked towards the smirking Naruto. Something about the smirk on his face and that he didn't really care for Kiba picking on a fellow ninja made Iruka want to go along with his own little prank. That's odd, he has a headband, and he's on the list, even assigned to a team. But if Kiba said it, it must be true. I'm sorry Naruto, but you're just going to have to put up with idiots the rest of your life. Everyone was stunned. Iruka just made fun of a class member. And he said that Naruto had actually passed. Was it opposite day? Hey Captain, how's the rock? Asked Naruto, his eyes tracking to his mother's and father's names. Now Naruto, no need to call me that anymore. Now I'm Kakashi-sensei, stated Kakashi with an eye smile. Whatever you say senpai, but we should probably get to the academy. I'm sure the Banshee and Duckass are going apeshit right now. I didn't make the best first impression as a teammate, stated Naruto. I think now is a good time to start the test. Sakura was pissed. Not only did the class idiot make her look bad, but her sensei was late and the idiot was nowhere to be found. Sasuke wasn't as pissed. He got to see one of his fangirls taken down a peg. That was nice, but his sensei was late, so the two evened out. All of a sudden the door opened, but to their displeasure it was just their idiot teammate. Oi, Kakashi wants you to on the roof in 5 minutes, then. Naruto puffed away, confusing the two genin. Naruto couldn't do the clone technique. They aren't going to get here on time. They're too self-centered to take orders from me, stated Naruto tiredly. It was like he was a recruit all over again. Then this should work perfectly. Don't worry. Have I ever let you down before? Asked Kakashi, flipping a page in his book. Demon Country, stated Naruto. Okay, you said you were going to let that go, stated Kakashi. And I will, right after you teach me it, not a moment sooner, stated Naruto. Fine, we can start tomorrow before the test, stated the copy nin. What test? And what are you teaching the dobi that I'm not learning? It was Sasuke. He was just making his way out the door onto the roof, followed by the Banshee. The test you two already lost 3 points out of 10 on, stated Kakashi. What's it for? What did the three of us do to get 3 points off for? Asked Sakura. First off, just the two of you got points off. Naruto did as ordered, so he doesn't lose points, stated Kakashi. What was the order? Asked Sakura. Naruto told you to be on the roof in 5 minutes, you took 7 inches, explained Kakashi. Why do I have to take orders from the idiot? I'm twice the ninja he is, screeched Sakura. And 2 more points off, you are both now at 5 out of 10 points, laughed Kakashi. What is this test for? Asked Sasuke, his tone pissed. The test is to see if any of the three of you get to be on my Genin team. If you pass the test, you're in the team. If you fail, you go back to the academy, stated Kakashi in a very bored manner. You can't do that. A Genin team has to have 3 Genin and 1 Jonin, screeched Sakura. Naruto and Kakashi had been working on it for the last 2 hours, so it was easy to see where they lost track of time. Sakura and Sasuke, however, were not amused. You're late, screeched the pink-haired girl. Sorry, I killed my alarm clock and had to give it a proper burial, stated Kakashi with an eye smile, though the loud cough from Naruto ruined the mood. Lair, she shouted again. Now that we're all here, it's time I explain the test. There are 2 bells, holds-up bells, that you must take from me by 3 o'clock. That gives you 3 hours. If you fail to get a bell, then you lose 5 points. There are also other penalties, but those are all common sense. Naruto, you don't have to participate in this exam. I already know you can complete it, stated Kakashi. Naruto nodded and started walking away. How come the Dobi gets a free ride, when I, a Uchiha, don't? Asked Sasuke smugly. Because I've known Naruto his whole life and know mostly what he is capable of, and if you both pass this test, then I'm sure Naruto will fill you in on a little bit more about himself. Right, Naruto? Asked the copy ninja. If they pass, I'd be glad to, stated Naruto with a knowing smirk. Then begin. Sasuke was getting pissed off. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get a damn bell. He had tried every approach possible, but couldn't get to a bell. How was he supposed to do it alone? Then it hit him. The point of the exercise wasn't to get the bell by yourself, but to get it with teamwork. He moved quickly to his blonde teammate, reminding himself that he was only using Naruto as a pawn to pass the test. Hey Dobi, help me out to get the bell, asked Sasuke. Naruto had been surprised it had been a request instead of a demand. Say please, stated Naruto with nothing but cold and ruthless confidence in his voice. Fine, please help me get the bell, asked Sasuke, though it was painful for him to ask for help from a non-Uchiha. Sure, you got a plan. Naruto threw a wicked spinning back kick, a move he most likely got from Guy, at the head of Kakashi, forcing him to take his eyes off Sasuke, but he wasn't an Anbu for nothing and could see through the trick that the pair was using. Naruto would distract and Sasuke would make a grab for the bells. I might have work against a Chunin, maybe even a fresh Junin, but not Kakashi. As they went for their last attempt, the alarm sounded, leaving the duo short a bell. I must say, you did far better than expected, but no bell. So I'm going to go ahead and tie one of you to the post. However, I'm feeling a little off today. Maybe it's because I haven't killed anyone this month. Oh well, I'm giving you one more chance after lunch, so get ready. Naruto, tie Sakura to the post. She didn't try at all during the test. Also, she doesn't get any food and gag her too. My head still hurts from her yelling. I'll be back in an hour, and with that, he puffed away. Wow, he really is off today. Never would have thought he would give you another shot. But it won't matter, he's too fast for the two of us, stated Naruto, lying through his teeth. What about Sakura? I'm sure she can at least be enough of a distraction for me to get the bells, stated Sasuke. But she's running on empty, she would be useless unless you feed her, stated Naruto. That's the only way to get out of this situation. Fine, open up Sakura, we need you at full go to pass, stated Sasuke as he took the gag off. All of a sudden, the sky turned dark and Kakashi appeared from nowhere. I told you not to feed her. You disobey an order to feed her. You pass. Now, 3 things happened when Kakashi said that. First, both Sasuke and Sakura yelled, "What?" Second, Naruto handed Kakashi 50 Ryo. And third, Kakashi explained, the point of this exercise is to work as a team, which you did by giving Sakura food when I told you not to. In the ninja world, those that don't follow the rules are trash, but those that abandon teammates are worse than trash. I learned that lesson the hard way, and I still suffer from my mistakes I made, stated a depressed Kakashi. What happened, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Sakura. Naruto put a hand on Kakashi's shoulder, silently asking for permission to tell his story. He shook His head no. Maybe later, it's not a pleasant story. But, since you did pass, Naruto, would you like to fill them in? He finished with an eye smile. Ugh, yeah, might as well get it over with. First understand, if either of you speak of what you hear here, you will be killed. This is an S-ranked secret. Do you both understand? He watched them nod their heads in awe. I'm not who I appear, though my name is Naruto Uzumaki, I do love ramen, orange and pranking, the rest of what you know of me is a lie. I'm not the dead last of our class, in fact I wasn't even a true student of that class. It was a cover to hide that I was, in fact, Anbu. But you couldn't even do a simple clone. There's no way you were in Anbu if Sasuke-kun wasn't, screeched Sakura. Shut up, though Sasuke may have been the best in the academy, I was the best in the class. The reason my grades sucked were a combination of not caring, always being tired, and choosing to make myself look bad. I was an Anbu recruit at 7 years old. During that time I wore the puppy mask, showing I was Kakashi's apprentice. I became a full-fledged member at 11, at which time I earned the fox mask and owned 3 Anbu records. Kakashi was one of my captains and has been training me along with several other members since I was 5. I have more chakra than all 3 of you combined, and I could pick apart our whole graduating class in a maximum of 3 minutes. Even if that was true, what records could you hold? Questioned Sasuke arrogantly. Kakashi, wanna fill them in? I get enough gruff at HQ over them. Asked Naruto. Gladly. First, fastest takeover of a bandit camp, 6 minutes 37 seconds, beating my sensei's record by a full minute. Second, highest confirmed kill count on a mission, 351, beating Itachi Uchiha's by 13. And the last, and my personal favorite, Naruto is the only person to ever steal Dango from Anko and make it out without a scratch. Stated Kakashi. 351. There's no way you did that. Yelled Sasuke. Itachi didn't even kill that many Uchiha. How could Naruto kill that many people on one mission? Ask anyone in Anbu, stated Kakashi. It was the same mission Naruto set the bandit camp record. He went in by himself, got the hostage out, and killed them all. Wow, whispered Sakura, her whole world turned upside down. The class idiot was extremely powerful. No, all she could go on is hoping that Sasuke was better. Yep, oh well, let's go get lunch. My treat, stated Kakashi as he walked away. It's 4 o'clock, deadpanned Naruto. Fine, early dinner, smartass. I don't care about protocol. I am not going to do countless D ranks, shouted Naruto, getting a snicker from the Anbu in the corner of the room. Something funny, Tora. Haha, yep, you have to do D ranks, laughed the Anbu named Tora. Oh yay, you're named after that damn cat I most likely have to chase. At this Kakashi busted out laughing. It had been common knowledge in Anbu that Naruto could one-up almost anyone, well except Kakashi and Anko. Oh shut up brat, yelled Tora. The fox hunts the cat. Not the other way around, stated Naruto smugly. Just get your mission brat, sighed Tora. Naruto was getting pissed. Not only had he had to do 10 straight D ranks, but he couldn't even train the way he wanted to. He had to do team building exercises because his teammates refused to work with him. Sasuke still had the Uchiha stick up his ass, so he thought he could do everything himself, and Sakura hated that Naruto was better than her, Sasuke-kun, so she refused to work with Naruto. On the first mission, Naruto had made fun of Sasuke and Sakura had tried to hit him like she used to in the academy. Long story short, Naruto blocked the punch and Sakura found a kunai at her throat before she even registered that Naruto moved. Now he was descending into the depths of his mind to speak to his tenant. Hey Kurama, what's new? Asked Naruto as he walked up to the cage. Hello Warden, I've just been laying around, looking into your question. I've have to say, if what I found out is true, you might finally let me redecorate, stated the fox. What did you find out? Does it have to do with that eye thing you told me about? Asked Naruto. Yes, but it's bigger than we thought. It is a dojutsu, like the Sharingan, but that's where it gets interesting. My knowledge goes back to when I was created. I've already informed you of that, so I'll skip the details. If you don't know the story behind the tailed beasts, then look it up. It's a pretty cool concept. I looked back through all of mine and my other hosts' memories, and found out something shocking. The Uzumaki are not the result of the combination of the Uchiha and the Senju. The Uchiha and Senju were split from the Uzumaki. That night, hey Kakashi, how does someone activate the Sharingan once they unlock it? It had been 1 month. One hellacious month from the formation of the new generation of Team 7, to where we find ourselves now. In the last 4 weeks, quite a bit had happened, and only a fraction of it good for our favorite blonde. But in the mind of one Naruto Uzumaki, the good far outweighed the bad. During training, Naruto had constantly shown up Sasuke, leaving an ever more pissed off Uchiha and an ever more bitchy, if that's even possible, Sakura. On several occasions, Sasuke had challenged Naruto to a fight outside of the usual spars, which Naruto would always decline. Then, Sasuke would try to force him to fight, only to be humiliated just before becoming even more of a broody brat than usual. During missions, if you could call them that, Naruto had picked up most of the workload, though he was fine with this. Naruto knows that skill is earned through blood, sweat and hard work. So every time a mission called for something physical, he jumped at the chance to work one of his 9 metaphorical tails off. And even he had to admit, the constant work of the hated D rank along with his borderline psychotic training program that Kakashi, the Hokage and Jiraiya had planned out for him was slowly turning his already impressive physical stats to new and very noteworthy levels. He could now stop a full-powered kick from any Jonin by catching it in his hand, and even stop a kick from Guy, something not many Chunin, or even Jonin for that matter, could do. Though Sasuke and Sakura were spiteful to Naruto, he didn't care much at all about either of them, which only served to piss the Uchiha off more. Sasuke would demand to watch him train so that he could learn how he was continuing to leave the Uchiha in the dust, but whenever Naruto trained outside of the team, it was at a private training ground reserved for former and current Anbu. About 3 weeks after the team formed, Sasuke had demanded to be trained by Anbu the way Naruto had, which made Kakashi, Naruto and even the Hokage laugh at the young Uchiha. Not just for the fact that the Uchiha thought he would get what he demanded, but just thinking about him attempting Naruto's hellacious training program. After his attempt to get the same training as his blonde teammate had failed, he went to his legal guardians, aka the Elder Advisors. That is where we find ourselves now. Council Chambers. Sarutobi, you must give Uchiha-sama the training he requests. We need to give our strongest Genin every chance to become more powerful. He is too great an asset to let fall by the wayside, stated Omura, one of the Elder Advisors. Absolutely not. Even if Sasuke Uchiha was the strongest Genin, he could not be trained the way he requests. There are only a handful of ninja in this village that have the stamina and reserves to even think about that training, stated Sarutobi forcefully. And why is that? He is the last Uchiha. Nothing is out of reach for him. If anyone can do it, it is him. The Sharingan is too important, stated Omura. Lord Hokage, you said, even if he was the strongest Genin. Are you saying there is someone stronger than the Uchiha in our ranks as a Genin? Asked Inoichi, rather confused that the Uchiha wasn't considered the strongest. Yes, several in fact. Off the top of my head I would say, Neji Hyuga, Rock Lee, Kabuto Yakushi, and the one said training was designed and developed for Naruto Uzumaki. Sarutobi was cut off. The demon container cannot be stronger than the Uchiha. There is no way it could be possible. He is an orphan. He has no clan. How can he be more powerful? Yelled a nameless civilian, with everyone else in the room that didn't know of Naruto's personal training in Anbu and by both Sarutobi and Kakashi agreeing with the councilman. There is nothing I can say without the proper people here. Tora commanded the Hokage. Seconds later an Anbu appeared from behind the door. Bring Fox and Dog here at once. Are you sure, sir? Last time, trailed off Tora. Yes, shouted Hiruzen, not wishing to remember the last time he had called either one to a meeting. Hi, stated Tora as he disappeared to find them. What are you playing at? There is no Fox operative, he was released from duty almost a month ago, stated Danzo, his face showing no emotion. Though he was rather curious, he knew exactly whom Fox was. The only person allowed to wear the Fox mask was the container of the Kyuubi, and since Kushina had died years ago. Yes, you are correct, but please Danzo, would you inform the council on Fox and his exploits? I'm sure it will help clear things up when the time comes, asked Sarutobi, his tone far too calm for the Warhawk's liking. Danzo nodded and started. Fox was a covert Anbu operative that appeared in our ranks little over 3 years ago. During his time in Anbu he made huge strides in the areas of stealth, speed, tactics, and to top it all off, he was a juggernaut. Set 2 records on one mission for wiping out a bandit camp in the fastest time ever and killing over 350 enemies in just under 7 minutes. Fox is also said to be the only person ever to steal Dango from Anko Matarashi and come away without even a scratch. Why is this important? Asked a truly curious Danzo. This is why, Dog, Fox, you may show yourselves now. The moment he was done talking, 2 people dropped down behind him, one tall, wearing A dog mask, the other short, wearing a fox mask, both standing at attention awaiting their orders. Everyone in the room was stunned. Not one, but two people were able to infiltrate a meeting without anyone but the Hokage noticing them. "Remove your masks and take a seat, there is much we need to discuss," he said, pointing to the set of chairs at the opposite end of the table. "Hi, Hokage-sama," the Anbu said in unison as they removed their masks and took up spots at the end of the table. Everyone on the council was shocked silent. Not only that one of the operatives was Kakashi Hitaki, but the other operative, Fox, the one that they had all heard about minutes ago, was none other than Naruto Uzumaki, the demon container. After a moment of blaring silence, the first person decided to speak up. Unfortunately for everyone, it was Councilwoman Haruno. "Hokage-sama, the demon brat is impersonating an Anbu. Arrest him," she screeched. "I can assure you that he is not impersonating anything. Naruto Uzumaki is Fox, just as his mother Kushina Uzumaki was Fox," assured Sarutobi, fully aware that he basically just handed them Naruto's heritage on a silver platter. There was several murmurs until one man finally spoke up. "I was unaware that Lady Kushina had a child, though that would explain his personality," started Shikaku Nara, "but if he is a true Uzumaki, shouldn't he have red hair, not blonde?" "Oh my god, what's wrong, Shikaku? You feel sick?" asked his longtime friend Shuza Akamichi. "In a sense, yes. Who was Kushina always seen around?" asked Shikaku, his face pale. There was a moment of thought before someone answered. "The Yondaime." "Why is this important?" asked a civilian. "What color was his hair and eyes?" asked Shikaku. Naruto smirked. Someone had finally figured it out. Unfortunately, this was sure to start an uproar in the village when it got out. Blonde hair, blue EY, Inoichi and everyone else left out of the loop froze at the sudden realization. The demon child couldn't possibly be his son. Could he? "You people really run Konoha. I figured out who my parents were and that I contained the Kyuubi by myself, when I was 6. How could you not figure it out until the smartest man in the village pointed it out?" asked a smirking Naruto while pointing at the Nara clan head. There was silence until Sarutobi spoke. "Everything just revealed is an S-rank secret. If any one of you but myself or Naruto tell anyone about this, you will be killed on sight. Am I understood? Your title as a counselor will not save you, nor will your being a clan head or an elder." "Sarutobi, surely that boy is not Minato's son," pleaded Omura, though he already knew it was true. The only blondes in Konoha were the Yamanaka, Namikaze or the Senju. Yes, his true name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, current clan head of both the Uzumaki and Namikaze clan, stated Sarutobi. "How can he be a clan head? He is far too young and there is no really proof that he is truly related to either Kushina or Minato," stated Koharu, making almost the whole council give her the "Are you fucking retarded? Look. Well, Kakashi was made a clan head when he was 7, so it's not a matter of age, and I have the DNA test to prove who his parents were, so I guess that means that Naruto is the clan head of both the Namikaze and Uzumaki," stated Sarutobi with a hint of satisfaction in his voice. Next day, Training Grounds 7. Naruto and Sasuke were currently sparring in a taijutsu-only match. It looked that they were evenly matched, but only Sakura would be dumb enough to believe that. The truth was that while Sasuke was going at about 90%, Naruto was going at about 25%. But the fact remained that both Naruto and Sasuke were improving rapidly. In the field of taijutsu, Sasuke was already high Genin, and outside of Naruto, he was by far the best. From the graduation test, though while Sasuke was high Genin, Naruto was mid-Jonin and rapidly on his way to Anbu levels. The spar ended when Naruto landed a bone-jarring kick to the gut of Sasuke. "Alright you two, that's enough for today. I'm very impressed. Out of the three of you I'd say that Sasuke has improved the most over the last month. Not to say that Naruto and Sakura haven't improved. It was a lie and everyone but Sakura and the still delusional Sasuke knew it. I believe this. Calls for retreat. Be at the Hokage Tower by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I think it's time for a C rank," stated the lazy nin. "About time," stated Naruto as he stretched out. "For once I agree with you, Dobi," added Sasuke, though it lacked its usual venom, something easily picked up by both ex-Anbu. "At any rate, to reward you for your hard work, I'm teaching Sasuke and Sakura Ichijutsu," stated Kakashi happily. "Why only us? Does the Dobi already know it?" asked Sasuke, generally curious. It always seemed like Kakashi was more willing to help Naruto instead of him. "And Quat? Nope, you and Arpos. Ve both been working very hard and I think you deserve it. Naruto has been slacking so he doesn't and Arpos. T get it and Quat. lied Kakashi as he made 2 shadow clones and quote, Sasuke, you will be learning a reliable genjutsu. It an Arpos, S the skill set that you have the most trouble with, so we an Arpos. Re going to try and fix that. Sakura, you an Arpos. Re going to be learning the Shadow Shuriken Jutsu. And quote. They both nodded and followed a clone to different locations. And quote. Now that I an Arpos, VE gotten rid of them. Why don an Arpos? Do we see how far along this little secret of yours is? And quote. Asked Kakashi. Naruto had asked how to activate the Sharingan in hopes that it would work the same for his dojutsu. Luckily, it turned out to work perfectly and now Naruto could activate it anytime he wanted. Flashback, 2 weeks ago, Kakashi and Arpos' house. It is not well known, but the Hatake family was really a clan of lightning users. They were at the peak of their power during the first Great Shinobi War, but died down in the second, and after the third war only Kakashi was left in Konoha. A distant cousin was believed to be in Kiri, but there was no proof. Others had left during the second war and like the remaining Uzumaki, scattered to the winds. This left the rather modest compound to Kakashi. Currently, Naruto and Kakashi was sitting in the living room. And quote, come again? And quote, asked Kakashi, his book lay in his lap. And quote, how do you activate the Sharingan once it an Arpos S unlocked? Remember the mission in grass how I reached levels with my fighting I still can an Arpos. T-match? Kyuubi thinks I may have a near extinct dojutsu. And quote, explained Naruto. Kakashi knew about the mission, hell he was the commanding officer. He also knew that Naruto spoke to the Kyuubi, so neither surprised him too greatly, but hearing that Naruto might have a dojutsu was a little much, though when you've pretty much watched the kid grow up you stop being surprised. From what I know you just send chakra to your eyes and think about them activating. That's how Itachi showed me to do it, though it's too much trouble to reactivate it once I power it down. Naruto tried it and amazingly it worked. The world around him seemed to slow down and everything seemed clearer. Do my eyes look any different? Asked Naruto. Kakashi studied them for a minute. They responded with, there's a white diamond shape in the iris, colored part, of your eye. Like the Sharingan. Has Tomoe. Channel some more chakra into your eyes. Naruto did as told and watched his sensei fall into a trance-like state. Kakashi, you okay? Asked the blonde as he stopped the extra flow of chakra to his eyes. It took a minute for Kakashi to respond. Go to the bathroom and look in the mirror. You'll see what I saw, he said cryptically and sat back down in the couch he was sitting on before and rested his head in his palms. Naruto was confused by this, but did as instructed. He got up and made his way toward the bathroom at what felt like a slow pace. He realized that, while his eyes were activated, everything seemed much slower, even his own movements felt slower. But they also felt more precise, almost robotic. It felt like there was no wasted movement. When he finally made it to the bathroom and looked in the mirror, he was stunned. Though his eyes were the same color as usual, his pupil was slightly larger, and in the iris of each eye there was one elongated diamond, both on the side, facing away from his nose. The diamond had no color, or rather, it was the same off-white was the rest of his eye. He had to admit, they looked cool. He thought cooler than the Sharingan he had seen on Itachi and Kakashi. Then he remembered that Kakashi had told him to channel more chakra to his eyes, so he did, but what he found wasn't what he had expected. The diamonds started to rotate around his pupil. They started to look like swirling water, almost a whirlpool in the middle of his eye. He noticed the more chakra he used the faster the diamonds would spin, until he could feel himself losing focus, almost like he was being drawn into them. After a minute, he looked around and saw he was no longer in Kakashi's bathroom, but instead in the sewers that held the Kyuubi. He was shocked to find himself there, because he didn't try to come here. He started looking around for the fox but couldn't find anything. He was in a completely different section of his mind. He couldn't make heads or tails of what he was seeing, so he returned to the real world. Naruto, you alright? Asked the worried Kakashi as he helped the blonde up off the floor. Yay, I'm fine. What happened to you when my eyes started spinning? Asked Naruto. Maybe he was just so entranced by the eyes that he ended up sending himself to his mind. It was like looking down into a maelstrom of water. After a while it felt like I was being pulled into a void or something. Did the same thing happen to you? Asked Kakashi, still recovering from whatever Naruto's eyes had done. I was sucked into my mind. It was weird though, it was a part one have never been in before. What's a maelstrom? Asked Naruto. End flashback. Alright, first we spar without it, then with it, pure taijutsu. Let's go, stated Kakashi as both he and Naruto dropped into a stance, Kakashi using the Goken, which Guy had taught him. Naruto, however, used a familiar stance to Kakashi, the stance of a taijutsu that was never named, the taijutsu that Minato Namikaze created. Go! In a burst of speed, Naruto took off, almost faster than Kakashi could track. Almost, Kakashi blocked a kick to his chest and paired a punch to the face before taking a full-body shoulder slam to his sternum. Kakashi held his ground, if just barely, from the surprise shoulder strike and retaliated with a vicious backhand that Naruto could react to in time and took the full force of it into his cheek. Very good, I'd say you're about low to mid-jonin in taijutsu. Now let's see what you can do with the eyes. Next day, training grounds 7857. Once again, Sasuke and Sakura were standing by the posts of the training field, waiting for their teammate and sensei. It was a common occurrence. Kakashi was always late and Naruto was either with him or arrived 5 to 10 minutes before the copy nin. Today was their first C-rank mission and they really didn't want to be late, even if they thought that the other two would most likely be late anyways. So how long until Dobi and Sensei are here? Sasuke asked Sakura, much to the surprise of the pink-haired Banshee. He wouldn't admit it, but she was the one person on the team he could stand. Even though he disliked the blonde nin, he was developing an amount of respect for him, even going as far as to see him as a rival. Right about now. Came two lazy voices behind them. They turned to see both Naruto and Kakashi sitting on a post, looking rather bored. Kakashi reading the newest Icha and Naruto reading an old, green-covered novel. You and Arpos? Here on time? Questioned Sakura in shock. Neither of them had been there on time all month. Why did they start now? Yep, now let an Arpos go get that C rank stated Kakashi as he hopped off the post and started to walk away, still reading this smut. He was followed closely by Naruto, who was still reading the old green novel. Minus 15 minutes later, mission assignment desk and Hey, Iruka-sensei, Gigi, how you been? Asked Naruto as he approached the desk and put the book in his utility pouch. Iron Arpos. Fine Naruto, how about you? Asked Iruka, startled that Naruto would be reading anything that wasn't an Arpos, T-Ninja related. Ready for another D rank? Asked the Anbu in the corner of the room and Shut it bore. Iron Arpos. Done with D ranks. We an Arpos. Here for a C rank and stated Naruto, knowing that it wasn't an Arpos. T that big of an upgrade. Wow. So instead of walking a dog you an Arpos, LLB an errand boy. That an Arpos, amazing. Stated Boar, his words laced with sarcasm and Hey Boar, who won last time? Asked a smirking Naruto. Anyone with the kind of money it would take run roughshod over a whole country, could afford some heavy hitters to take out a target. Should we still take the mission? Pondered the lazy nin aloud. We have no proof that this mission ISN and Arpos, T legitimate, and it would make Konoha seem weak if we turn down this mission and stated Naruto and then we and Arpos. Going to need a plan in case things head south, and minus 15 minutes later, at the gate and everyone here. Good, let an Arpos move out and stated Kakashi. Not even waiting for a response. Sakura and Sasuke followed immediately, not noticing that the blonde was not part of the group. Though this didn't an Arpos, T get by Tazuna. And where an Arpos, the blonde kid. He not coming, and asked the bridge builder and no, he and Arpos, LL catch up, he said something about and needing to fuel up and then headed off to his favorite ramen stand. He should catch up in about 2 hours, and stated Kakashi nonchalantly. Tazuna had his doubts until he saw the look on the other Genin faces. It was the look of complete understanding with a healthy dose of happiness. An hour and a half later the group of 4 had set a good pace so far, and had covered a good chunk of the journey. Though the loud blonde still had not caught up, which even the pink-haired Banshee had picked up by now, and being a WQI, woman of questionable intelligence, she had to blurt out the fact that she had finally caught up to the situation. And hey Kakashi-sensei, where in Arpos, Naruto? He should have been here by now, And quat? She asked loudly, much to the annoyance of the males in the group. And quat? He will be here when he is needed. He did this on the A rank in grass country, and you both know how that turned out. And quat? Stated the bored Kakashi. And quat? What happened? And quat? Asked Tazuna. To hear that the blonde had been on A rank was very reassuring, if only he was here with them. And quat? He was supposed to meet up with us after another mission but got caught up with a missing nin. By the time he got to the camp we were staking out, one of our operatives had been captured. The man captured was one of the few people in Naruto and Appo's life that has always looked after him. He felt it was his fault because he didn't and Appo's make it on time. He snuck in and got the operative out. Unfortunately, they had tortured him to give the information. When Naruto saw what had been done to him in order to gain information, he flipped and went back in to kill everyone in the camp, 325 bandits, and 26 missing ninja. Well, that and Appo's all we could count, but from the math we did it was more than that. And quat? He said with a hint of fear in his voice, his mind flashing to the horror that befell the bandits. And quat? What do you mean? And quat? That all we could count? And quat? And quat? The math we did was more than that. And quat? And quat? Asked Sasuke. And quat? We could only find about 300 full bodies, but it was reported that there were over 600 people in the camp. And we were positive that no one escaped. And quat? Stated a now depressed Kakashi, shocking everyone. And quat? Full bodies? What and Appo's does that mean? And quat? Asked the shocked Sakura. And quat? That and Appo's how many bodies still had their heads? And quat? Kakashi said with a very uncharacteristic crack in his voice. And quat? I was a jonin during the Third Great War and watched Minato Sensei devastate Iwa and Appo's army, but I and Appo's never seen anything as gruesome as what Naruto does to anyone who hurts the people close to him, and it and Appo's not the only time he and Appo's done it. Now if you don and Appo's mind I and Appo's, do you like to stop talking about it? And quat? Stated Kakashi. No one wanted to continue to talk about that subject, thought one of them was deep in thought. And Appo's? How could Naruto do something like that? All because those people hurt someone close to him. But he seems so tame. Then again so did Itachi. Wait, is that what happened to Itachi? And Appo's? Wondered Sasuke, remembering one of Itachi and Appo's friends going missing, and a week later Itachi killing off the clan. Half an hour later the group was still in a lull from what they had heard about the young blonde acquaintance. They had just walked past a puddle but only Kakashi had noticed it. Just after they had made it past the puddle, two figures seemingly grew out of the small pool of water and shot towards the traveling group. The two dark-clad figures had just appeared behind the group out of an unnatural puddle. They sent a glance at each other and that seemed to be the only thing needed to launch their assault. They took off a chain connecting the gauntlets on their wrist. The chain proved useful. As they charged the group, they were able to wrap the legendary copy nin in the razor-sharp chain, and with a vicious pull of their arms, the chain ripped him into a plethora of Kakashi chunks. Both Sakura and Sasuke were frozen in fear. Their sensei was just killed and their teammate was nowhere to be found. Sasuke began to wonder if he had also been killed as he tried to catch up. Sasuke quickly rediscovered his ego and began to charge the duo recklessly. After all, he was an Uchiha, and for some reason, Sasuke thought that made him invincible. As he neared the offending ninja, they moved faster than he could react, and they both backhanded the last Uchiha away like a fly. Sakura was now panicking. Her sensei was dead, her crush was just bitch slapped, and although she wouldn't admit it, her only hope was a boy. No, a man named Naruto. The duo charged her, and although she was on the verge of pissing herself, she held her ground. As they drew closer, she closed her eyes and waited for the end. She waited for what seemed like hours, though it was by a second, until she heard a sound she was unfamiliar with. It sounded like a sword being sheathed, but along with this sound, was the sound of gurgling. Curiosity got the better of her and she opened her eyes to see what it was. What he saw shocked her. In front of her, the two men stood motionless, seemingly frozen in time, with a mixture of shock and fear on their faces. They both toppled over to reveal her teammate, Naruto, and the look in his eyes sent her mind deeper into shock. It was the look she had heard her father speak about, the look of a man that just protected something he considered precious, though at the same time it was mixed with something that just didn't. An Appo's fit on Naruto and Appo's face, sorrow. And quat? En Naruto? And quat? She questioned, then looked at the men that had attacked, a kunai in the base of both of their skulls. And quat? You both alright? And quat? Even his tone seemed like it did in an R pose. T belonged to the blonde idiot that she was teamed with. And quat, fine and quat, stated Sasuke with a hint of venom in his voice, just returning from the bitch-slapped-induced fight. And quat, good, then we can continue the mission and quat, stated Naruto as he made 3 hand signs. When he was done, Kakashi appeared out of nowhere, reading his book and quat. But I think it an R pose. S time that Tazuna tells us why he lied about the mission details and quat. Minus 45 minutes later, Hokage and R pose. S office the Sandaime was currently battling the second greatest enemy to mankind, a creature far worse than any experiment created by the traitorous Snake Sannon, paperwork. He was absent-mindedly wondering how much more paperwork he would have to do if he torched all of the paperwork. He was pulled from his musings as an Anbu appeared before him. And quat, Lord Hokage, we are Narpos. VE just received word from a team on a C rank, seems the mission has been upgraded to at least an A rank. What are we to do? And quat, asked the Baki masked Anbu and quat, what team? And quat, he asked absent-mindedly and quat, Team 7 sir. Though they haven an Narpos, T asked for any help, just for us to retrieve 2 bodies. And quat, answered the Anbu and quat, makes sense, thank you for the information, you may go now. And quat, answered the Sandaime, not showing any worry at all. If it was any other Genin team, he would send backup immediately. However, this was Kakashi and Arpo's S team, which meant Naruto was also there, and those 2 alone could handle almost any A rank. Minus 55 minutes later, border of the land of fire and quat. So we just need to wait for a boat. Well, I and Arpos am going to take a nap, wake me up when it gets here and quat, stated Naruto as he dropped where he stood and covered his eyes with his Konoha headband. How can you just sleep? There's a man out there trying to get us all killed and you're about to take a nap, asked Sakura. It wasn't yelling at him. She was truly curious as to how Naruto could be so calm. After all, Tazuna had informed him about Gato and his criminal empire after the demon brothers attacked, who, by the way, Naruto killed. Yep, was all he answered with as he started to drift off. Sorry Naruto, your beauty sleep will need to wait, it seems the boat has arrived, stated aboard Kakashi, though he was smirking under his mask. Crap, was all Naruto said as he got up and made his way over to the shore where the boat was about to land. Minus 35 minutes later, shore of the land of waves. Naruto, Formation K, was the command delivered by Kakashi. Naruto nodded and shot off into the woods next to the path they would be traveling. Why is Naruto going into the woods? Wouldn't he be better with us? Asked Tazuna. No, Naruto specializes in stealth, information gathering and being a juggernaut to hit the enemy after the fight starts, that's why he wasn't with us. Until the demon brothers attacked, he was watching from a distance. Explained Kakashi, his stealth is also to the point that he could sneak up on my replacement and current Anbu commander, an Anbu named Tora. Minus 42 minutes later, 10 minutes from Tazuna's house. Everybody down, yelled Kakashi as he tackled Tazuna. Sakura and Sasuke soon followed in the act of hitting the deck. They were lucky to do so, because a giant, cleaver-like sword flew through the area once occupied by their necks and stuck into the tree behind them. They turned to see a man standing on the sword's handle, facing away from them. Hand over the bridge builder and I'll leave you 3 alone, stated the odd man in a gravel-like voice. Zabuza Momochi, a rank-missing nin from the land of water, wanted for the assassination attempt of the Yondaime Mizuki. What a pleasure to finally see you again, you won't walk away from me twice, came a disemboweled voice from almost everywhere at once. There were only 3 idiots that would talk to me like that, Kisame, who I know you're not. Raiga, you're not crazy enough to be him. And finally that fox bastard who killed my second apprentice. So why don't you show yourself before I kill your comrades? Listed off Zabuza. Why don't you show your little hidden Anbu? I'm sure that he's here, if he shows, I show. Came the same disembodied voice as before. Sakura and Sasuke along with Tazuna were both shocked and confused. Did the kid know this maniac? Don't know what you're talking about, I'm a lone wolf after you literally tore Tuman's head off, so why don't we settle this like men? You and me, so I can finally get revenge for my apprentice. Barked out Zabuza. How about a deal? If I win, you join us. If you beat us, well it's obvious what would happen then, stated the voice, with Naruto slowly sneaking up behind him. You got yourself a deal kid, if you win, I'll join you, but I decide when I'm beaten, now show yourself, yelled Zabuza. Gladly, came a ghostly whisper behind Zabuza. He spun around almost too fast to see and swung his massive sword, cutting Naruto in half. Or, so it seemed. The moment before the sword connected, Naruto turned into an outline. What? An afterimage? Shouted Sasuke. He had only heard of people that fast. He always thought it was a myth. I must admit, you're better than last time, but then again, so am I, he stated while flashing through hand sign, hidden mist jutsu. The air became thick with mist and chakra, separating Naruto from the view of his team. There was a loud clang of metal on metal, followed by a taunt. Zabuza, this mist won't help as much as you think it will. I was a member of Anbu, don't take me lightly. The air became thick with mist and chakra, separating Naruto from the view of his team. There was a loud clang of metal on metal, followed by a taunt. Zabuza, this mist won't help as much as you think it will. I was a member of Anbu, don't take me lightly. Sasuke was scared shitless, the pure amount of killing intent rolling, no, exploding off of the blonde and the swordsman were almost too much for him. He brought a kunai up to his throat and was about to plunge it into his jugular, when Kakashi grabbed his hand and pulled the kunai away. Don't be a coward, you're a leaf shinobi, act like it. Punk, you're dead, shouted Zabuza as he brought his blade around once again. Naruto had to wonder just what kind of strength one would need to be whipping around a blade that big, sometimes even with one hand. Naruto knew he had to go all out to even have a hope of winning this little battle. He silently released his weights and activated his eyes. Just as his eyes started to draw chakra, he felt it. He somehow unlocked the second level of his eyes. It felt like his whole body was energized, even with the first stage of his eyes. He felt like he was moving at his normal speeds, and combining the first and second levels of the eyes produced an incredible ability. The first level's ability to slow down his perception of time, along with the ability to predict attacks, along with the second, a boosted nervous system that allowed faster reaction time and swifter movements, were an incredible advantage. Zabuza was getting pissed. He just could not hit this kid. He could react far too quickly. Zabuza increased the mist to the point that Naruto quite literally couldn't see past his nose, but thanks to his ability to predict attacks along with his increased reflexes and Anbu training kept him from being caught by the edge of the sword, but not by much. How can you keep dodging me? God damn it. It's a secret, but I'll tell you when you join us, stated Naruto as he dodged another swing, silently deciding he needed to end this or he might lose his life. You're never going to beat me, kid, not even if there were 100 of you, stated Zabuza as he continued his onslaught of slashes. Now there's an idea, multi-shadow clone jutsu. In less than a second about 300 Narutos appeared in a plume of smoke. Let's even the playing field. Wind release, great breakthrough. An amazing wind literally blew the mist away. Kakashi, let's finish this. Formation 2. After he said that, Kakashi appeared by his side. Formation 2. Huh. You're finally done messing around then. Let's end this, he said lazily. Same as Demon Country, bring the heat. Fire style, great fire dragon bullet. Wind release, tornado dragon. The two powerful jutsu combined to make a raging inferno of a dragon. Water style, water wall jutsu. The wall of water was just able to stop the fire side of the attack. Unfortunately for Zabuza, his wall didn't stop the wind dragon and Zabuza took almost the full force of the dragon to the face, chest. He was thrown back into and through a tree. It's over, Zabuza, join us and your life will be spared, stated Naruto as he approached the man currently having a large tree in. I guess I've been beaten, you win the bet, I'll go with. Zabuza was cut off by two needles that buried themselves into the neck of Zabuza. Thank you all for keeping him occupied for me. I've been chasing him for the last 3 years, stated the hunter Nin as he appeared from behind a tree. Here, let me help with the decapitation, said Naruto with a knowing smile. Then the hunter Nin shot forward and grabbed the body of Zabuza and disappeared in puff of smoke. Kakashi, how long have you your headband up? Thump. Kakashi collapsed over, Sharingan still uncovered. That's a good idea, stated Naruto before his eyes rolled back and he too fell to the ground. Which way to your house, Tazuna? Asked Sakura. Next day, noon after Naruto and Kakashi had passed out, they were carried to Tazuna and Appo's home by Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi had just woken up, though Naruto was still in a deep sleep, though Kakashi just figured that he was either talking to the fox or having a ramen dream. Naruto and Appo's mindscape and quat. So what are you saying exactly? And quat? Asked Naruto and quat. I think the reason you suffered from chakra exhaustion ISN and Appo's because of the 3 high-powered jutsu you used, but because of the extensive use of your eyes, I don and Appo's think you and Appo's VE mastered this new level and because of that they drew way more chakra than your first stage did, though it and Appo's It's only a theory, you really should ask the Hokage to allow you to go search the ruins of Uzashigakure. I bet you could find some answers there, hell I bet that there are Narpos. It's a good chunk of that village still standing. Unquote. Stated the QB with a bit of a laugh, though Naruto didn't Narpos. Know why? He just filed it and there are Narpos. Wait for right time. Narpos, unquote. What do you mean mastered? All I needed to do was unlock it right. That and Narpos. It's how the Sharingan works. Unquote. Questioned Naruto unquote. You are Narpos. Rewrite their kit, that is how that damned Sharingan works, but you don a Narpos. Have the Sharingan. Have you decided what you're going to name in yet? Unquote. Asked the Great Fox, truly curious as to what he would come up with. Unquote. Don and Narpos. No. I and Narpos. Am probably just going to wait until I and Narpos am able to go to Uzashigakure. That way I can hopefully get some more information on this thing. Did you just call me Kit? Unquote. Asked Naruto with a raised eyebrow. Unquote. No, now get out of here, your team is starting to freak you that you are Narpos. Not waking up. Oh and look in a mirror unquote. And with that, QB faded out of sight and Naruto unquote. Woke up unquote. Waking world unquote. Naruto. You in there? Unquote. Asked Sasuke. The only reason he was asking was because Naruto seemed to be switching between emotions like Choji goes through pork barbecue. He's fine, he does that when he dreams about ramen, lied Kakashi. He knew that Naruto was conversing with the fox, he would have to ask later. It wasn't just about ramen. There was a sea of ramen. But it turned out to be a bunch of snakes. I hate that dream, said Naruto, expertly, covering the fact he was conversing with his tenant. Again, Kakashi added to the cover story, that's the second time this month. Maybe you should see your old friend and see what that dream is all about. Yay, that's probably a good idea, though we should probably discuss what to do when Zabuza returns. Stated Naruto. What do you mean? That hunter Nin killed him? Questioned Sasuke. No, the area the needles hit couldn't kill. It put him in a death-like state. He's going to be back and this time Zabuza won't take me lightly. I'm not on his level, and that Anbu of his was low tune and last time we fought and uses weird jutsu. Stated Naruto. Well I still can't move, so Naruto, you handle the training. Every morning until I can come help out. Start with tree climbing and whatever else you can think of. Now get going, I have reading to get caught up on, stated the copy Nin with an eye smile. Damn you pervy Hitaki, alright you heard him, get some food and meet me in the clearing on the west side of the house in 45 minutes, and get ready for my version of tree climbing, said Naruto with a sadistic grin. Minus 45 minutes later, clearing. Okay, today you will be climbing to the tops of those trees, using only your feet. This workout is a slimmed down version of my Anbu workout, stated Naruto while pointing at 3 tall trees on the edge of the clearing. 2 questions. 1. How the hell do you do that? And 2. How is this going to make me stronger? Asked Sasuke, excited that he would finally get the training that he had demanded a month ago. Focus chakra to the bottom of your feet, use that to form a type of suction to the tree. Too much chakra and you rip the bark off, too little and you fall off. The key is a good understanding of the balance needed for this exercise. To add to the usefulness of this exercise, every time you fail to make it to the top, do 5 push-ups, sit-ups and squats. Mark your progress with a kunai and try to make it to the top in the next 3 days. Go, instructed Naruto. He watched as Sasuke made it about a fourth of the way before he overloaded the bark and shot off. Wow, it took me an hour to get that far, stated Naruto. He then turned to see Sakura sitting on a tree branch panting. He figured that would happen, she has near perfect control but almost no reserves. Keep going Sakura, when you can't go higher come down and take a 10-minute break, then do your workout. Minus 2 hours later, Sakura, you alright? Asked Naruto. She was laying face down on the ground, and every 3 to 4 minutes she would moan in pain. Sasuke was a little better off. He was leaning against the tree with his eyes closed, too tired to actually keep them open. You both did pretty good, almost an entire quarter of my morning workout. A quarter? How the hell is that a quarter? Shouted Sasuke. He had to be lying, no human being could possibly be able to do that times 4. Yep, a quarter, and you didn't even make it to the hard stuff. Come on, I'll carry you both back and give you a medical pill so you can at least move. They both just nodded, they couldn't even move so there wasn't much choice. They both figured he would make a shadow clone each to carry them. They were wrong. Naruto scooped up Sasuke and slung him over his shoulder, while he picked up Sakura bridal style and without using hand. signs, disappeared in a swirl of wind. Minus 15 seconds later, Tazuna's living room. Yo! Stated Kakashi, who by this point was able to brace himself against the wall and scoot along, was sitting in a recliner and, much to the dismay of Tsunami, reading his book, How Was the Training? I had them do my warm-up, it was funny to watch, giggled Naruto. Sakura and Sasuke just grunted as Naruto set him down on the couch. Absent-mindedly, not realizing he put Sasuke on top of Sakura while they were facing each other. How far did they get? Asked Kakashi. Sasuke can consistently make it up the tree, but he can't seem to stay focused enough to make it all the way. Sakura can make it to the top, but only once. Her reserves are minuscule. What do you want him to work on after they're done tomorrow? I was thinking water walking and elemental affinities. We could, and you could still use some work on your wind affinity, so we could do that. I would like to see the trees though, wouldn't you? Asked Kakashi in code. Naruto nodded and lifted Kakashi out of the chair. The two then left through the front door and sat on the porch. What did you need to say that couldn't be said in there? Asked Naruto. I would like to ask what you and the fox were talking about this morning, and I was wondering how you could react faster than Zabuza could. Move, stated Kakashi plainly. They're two in the same. I was talking to Fluffball about the new level I've unlocked. He said I haven't mastered it, so I lost more chakra than I should have, stated Naruto. Let me see your eyes. I think I have a theory, stated Kakashi as he turned to Naruto. Naruto activated his eye to show there was two diamonds on one eye, but only one on the other. I believe that to master a level of your eyes, you have to have the diamond for the other eye. Maybe then it won't suck the power right out of your body. Try just using the first level. Naruto did just that and was stunned. The draining he had felt earlier was down to almost a trickle. It's way less than the second stage, but that might be just because the difference in level. Wanna head back inside? I'm really hungry. When aren't you hungry? Zabuza and Arpo's hideout and Quat. Son of a bitch. Do you always have to go for the neck? And Quat? Asked Zabuza as he pulled the needle out of his jugular. And Quat? I and Arpo's. I'm sorry Zabuza-sama, I had to make it look like I had killed you as not to raise suspicion, though they know already, that blonde boy is quite smart. And Quat? Responded Haku. Zabuza sat quiet for a minute, several emotions running through his eyes. He sat up, even though his body was barely able to do so. He hung his head. This was something he really did in an Arpose want to do, but he had to think about the future. And Quat? Haku, what do you think about the Leaf Village? And Quat? -4 days later, bridge, 2 days till Zabuza is back to full. The last 3 days have been what some would call hell. Those that would call it that was Sasuke and Sakura. The training regiment had only increased with each passing day. They were now at a level with tree climbing that they could practice on the beams of the bridge, so they all could be on the bridge the whole time. After showing proficient skill in tree walking, Naruto started on stage 2 of his special training regiment, sparing on a horizontal surface. Upside down. This helped chakra control, reserves, and taijutsu, but also helps with speed and strength, sense and Arpose. Refighting gravity the whole time and Arpose, re-sparing. Needless to say, both Sakura and Sasuke were getting much stronger. Though Naruto wasn't an Arpose lacking, Kakashi had found a way Naruto to train his wind affinity while also working on his water affinity, though it an Arpose was very taxing and Naruto could only do this training for about an hour a day. Naruto would make 5 clones and go out in the water. Naruto would stand in the middle of his clones and spin wind chakra around himself while the clones would spin the water around him, making a whirlpool. The real Naruto would hover himself in the middle of the whirlpool while keeping the sides from closing in on him. Overall it was very effective training, but the chakra output of the 5 clones along with his own output was testing even his ridiculous reserves. Currently Kakashi was having them all do physical training by helping out with the bridge building. This served 2 purposes, as the Genin would get physically stronger and the bridge was becoming well ahead of schedule due to the Genin and Naruto's clones, which would pressure Zabuza to fight earlier than his body was ready for. So far, both ideas seemed to work perfectly. Tazuna's home dining room. I fold. I hate your poker face Kakashi, stated Naruto as he set his cards down. It was true, when Kakashi had his mask on, which is always. He was unreadable. Well, maybe if you two wore a mask you could play poker like me, suggested Kakashi with an eye smile. Why do you guys try so hard? It was a little voice, timid and weak, but you could tell that it once held joy. It was the voice of Tsunami's son, Inari. "'Cause he's won almost half the money I have, and I want it back," stated Naruto as he dealt another set of cards. No, you idiot. Why do you train so hard? Gato is just going to kill you. You have no chance. No one can beat Gato, shouted Inari. Kid, I've lived through way too much to just roll over and die now. I'm not going to give up until I achieve my goals, so there's no way I'm going to. Let some smelly midget do what my own village couldn't, stated Naruto with an amount of sadness in his voice. You think you've lived through a lot. You live in a hidden village. You're a ninja. How could you have had a bad life? There's no way you even know what pain is, shouted Inari. Kakashi's eye widened. This wasn't going to end well. It never ended well. Hey kid, come outside with me. In fact, everyone come outside if you would, stated Naruto with no tone in his voice. Kakashi knew what was coming. It was something no man should witness. Everyone got up and walked out behind the young blonde. Kakashi knew what was coming, and Naruto was smart to bring them all outside. Everyone was now standing in the clearing on the side of the home, waiting for whatever the blonde had in store. So kid, you don't think I know what suffering is? Let me show you some moments of my life through my eyes. Ninja art, memory vision jutsu. Ninja art, memory vision jutsu. Naruto, I know what you're thinking, at least explain what they're about to see, begged Kakashi. He was the one who taught Naruto this jutsu, so he knew what was coming. Fine. In a few moments, you will witness some memories, some through my eyes, others from a third-person view. Any pain I feel, you will feel as a sensation on the corresponding part of your body. In other words, when my arm breaks, your arm will go numb. Now that has been said, let us begin, stated Naruto as he closed his eyes and focused on a string of memories. Konoha, 8 years ago, Naruto age 4. Naruto was running through the streets, a literal mob chasing him. They were gaining on him, shouts of, "Die demon!" and, "Come back here, demon!" rang through the air. A volley of rocks and bottles came over his shoulders, though one rock had hit its mark. Said rock cracked Naruto in the back of the head, knocking him to the ground. The mob converged, kicking and punching the poor blonde, breaking his malnourished bones and injuring his internal organs. Just like the beating had started, it stopped as the crowd ran away. The last thing Naruto saw before he blacked out was an Anbu with gravity-defying silver hair. Konoha, 7 years ago, Naruto age 5. Naruto was once again running from a crowd, but it wasn't civilians this time, it was ninja. Naruto never stood a chance. He was caught and pulled into an alleyway. He was propped up against the wall and had a kunai hammered into each shoulder, elbow and hand along with his knees to crucify him to the wall. He was then beaten until he blacked out. Konoha, 6 years ago, Naruto age 6. Naruto was tied up and had a bag over his head. He was being thrown into every object that was within range. His body had deep cuts and the bone of his upper right arm and lower left leg were jutting out of the skin at grotesque angles. Naruto couldn't see, but he could hear the man laughing. Then all of a sudden he heard what sounded like a bunch of birds chirping and a voice that could almost be felt yell, "Chidori." Naruto waited for his death, but it never came. He was shocked when the rope that had been tying him up was cut off. The bag over his head was removed. He looked up to see who this person was, only to find the same silver-haired Anbu that had saved him almost countless times standing over him. He knew he was safe and allowed the darkness to take him, but not before heard the man speak and quote, "Fuck the council and the elders. I and Arpos am going to take care of you, Naruto, even if I have to kill them all to do it." And quote, Grass Country, year and a half ago, Naruto age 11. Naruto was running full speed toward a bandit camp. He knew he had to get his friend out, and he didn't an Arpos care what it took to do it. He has just found his friend and was sprinting back to base camp so the medics could heal him. He had been tortured. There were burns, cuts and literal holes covering his entire head. On his face there was 2 deep slashes that looked to have even cut the bone. He made it back to base camp and delivered his friend to the medic. Naruto was now standing outside the bandit camp. He created about 50 shadow clones to surround the area to make sure no one escaped. Then, he charged in. All he saw was red. He knew the QB was filling him to the max with his power, but Naruto didn't an Arpos care. He was literally tearing through anything that got within his reach, some not even seeing their own death. Anyone who tried to escape was slaughtered by his clones. Anyone dumb enough to try to attack him was torn to shreds. After about 7 minutes of pure slaughter, they were all dead, and Naruto collapsed. End of jutsu. Everyone was silent. All but Kakashi and Naruto had puked at least once. And quote, "That was a fraction of my pain," and quote, stated Naruto in a cold, emotionless voice. And quote, "That is my life, what I have lived through and what I have done. Think before you speak, because there are narpos, always someone who are narpos, had it worse than you. I just pray to God the one that had it worse than me can handle life they live, I and narpos. Hate to see what I would have turned out like without those that cared for me. I and narpos, LL be back later Kakashi, code 48 and quat, and with that, he left in a swirl of wind. It was almost 10 minutes before anyone could speak again. Tazuna and Kakashi stood silent, Inari, Tsunami and Sakura was sobbing uncontrollably and Sasuke was shaking like a left. And quat, Kakashi-sensei and quat, sputtered out Sakura between sobs and quat, yes Sakura, and quat, asked Kakashi stoically, knowing her she would ask if he was making that all up, he was right. And quat, that was just a genjutsu, right? And quat, she asked, almost begged. There was no way that anyone could do that, right? And quat, no Sakura, everything you and narpos, VE just witnessed was real. That all happened and more, none of that was anywhere near the worst of it and quat, stated Kakashi with a tear rolling out of his eye, and quat, what? What could be worse than that? And quat, shouted Sasuke. He thought he had a terrible life with the death of his clan at the hand of his own brother. He would take his life any day over what he saw of Naruto and Narpos, And Kakashi just said it got worse. Kakashi hung his head and started shivering. And quat, on Naruto and Narpos' 5th birthday, and quat, Kakashi was now crying, something that most think impossible, it was the single most gut-wrenching thing he had never seen. And quat, me and another Anbu, Sasuke and Narpos' brother Itachi, we and Narpos, read to look over Naruto to make sure he stayed safe. There was a fight at the bar down the street between a few jonin, we went and broke up the fight, but it was just a diversion to get Naruto. And quat, what happened? And quat, asked Sasuke shakily, anything that was actually planned out could end and Narpos, end well. And quat, 4 members of a clan broke into Naruto and Narpos' apartment. They beat him to near death and quat, Kakashi could end and Narpos. Say it, just the thought of the even made him physically sick, not just of the men who did it, but the fact he could end and Narpos. Stop it. And quat, they what? What did they do? And quat, asked Sakura, bawling even harder than before. And quat, they raped him. And quat, next day, Tazuna and Narpos' kitchen no one was talking, they were all still digesting what they had learned about their blonde teammate, friend. Everyone was trapped in a world of their own thoughts, ranging from person to person. Sasuke was in deep thought. He had just the night before learned that the only person he would even think about calling a friend had had it worse than him, much worse. He lived through all that and is still the way he is. He truly is stronger than me. I had one bad thing happen to me and I spiraled. He had it much worse than me and still maintained himself. Maybe he really could become Hokage. But one thing's for sure, I want to get closer to Naruto, for both of us. Sasuke got up and headed to the door, intent on finding the person he now considered a friend. You won't find him unless he wants you to, stated Kakashi, reading a book, though not his usual smut, it was a green-covered novel that the name was worn off of. Not even I can find him when he calls a code 48, and I basically raised him since he was 6. Both Sakura and Sasuke were drawn back by this. They knew from the memories that Kakashi had saved Naruto a couple of times, but that he had actually raised him, though that would explain some things. What is a code 48? Asked Sasuke. If he knew what Naruto was doing, maybe he could help find him. It means that Naruto is on a self-appointed mission, probably training, stated Kakashi while turning the page of the old green book. Then it shouldn't be that hard to find him, questioned Sasuke. Normally no, but I and several others have trained him to be undetectable, add that to the natural talent for stealth that everyone on both sides of Naruto's family has. You cannot find him. Not even a Hyuga can find him, stated Kakashi as he continued to read his book. I thought Naruto was an orphan. He doesn't have a family, stated Sakura like it was the most obvious thing in the world. His parents died the day he was born, his mother in childbirth, his father against the Kyuubi. A lot of people that knew his parents tried to adopt him and help him out, but it was immediately stopped by those idiots on the civilian council and a certain clan. They even went so far as to have a man assassinated for filling out the paperwork to adopt him, stated Kakashi, much to the shock of everyone in the room. Why did everyone in Konoha hate Naruto? It was only after me and several other very important people threatened to leave and sell secrets that they let me take over raising Naruto, but even then Naruto had to live on his own and was refused entry to the academy. That's why he was assigned to Anbu. It was the only thing that Lord Hokage had enough control over to keep the civilians and that clan out of. Since the day he was born he was technically a ninja of the village, stated Kakashi with an eye smile, remembering how he had hip thrusted at the civilian council when Sarutobi had finally outwitted them. Why would the civilians do that? Why was he considered a ninja at birth? What clan was against him? Rattled off Sakura, not understanding why. Something her mother was a part of would basically damn an infant to such a life. Sure, her mom didn't like Naruto, but that was just because of some stupid prank, right? Only Naruto and the Hokage can explain the first two. But the clan against him was the Uchiha, and it's for the same reason the civilians are against him to this very day, stated Kakashi, waiting the response from Sasuke, though the response came from Sakura. You lie, the Uchiha are great people. They would never do that, she yelled, not believing for a second that the great Uchiha would do such a thing. He's telling the truth, stated Sasuke somberly. When I was young I always heard my clan speaking of ways they could harm that boy. It must have been Naruto they were after. I remember there was a group of ninja that said they should put him in his place, and afterwards they went missing. Come to think of it, that was almost 8 years ago, and it was right around the time of the Kyuubi festival. Sasuke's eyes went wide and he sprinted out the door. All that was heard was the sound of vomiting and sobbing. Sakura sprung up to go help him, but Kakashi blocked her and told her that he needed this. 5 minutes later Sasuke emerged into the house, tears streaking his face. What happened? What's wrong? Questioned Sakura. I know the clan that was responsible for Naruto's rape. Forest clearing. Naruto had 500 clone, all working on separate things. Some his ridiculous chakra control exercise, which was water walking while holding rocks and branches to himself with chakra, some working on jutsu, including his newest idea for his own jutsu. Most of his ideas he needed to train his body more, others were just too ridiculous to ever work without major drawbacks. The next group of clones were making an anti-Sharingan seal. Not that he didn't an R pose, trust Kakashi, but he knew Sasuke would unlock his soon, and he would be damned if someone would just steal his hard work. The rest of his clones were split between working on his wind element and training his taijutsu. He had 10 shadow clones fighting, each one-on-one. Naruto had the idea a while back to make his own taijutsu style. He knew 5 of them rather well but just never hit full stride with any of them. He knew the strong fist from Guy, the interceptor from Itachi and Shisui Uchiha, 2 men that helped him train when he was in Anbu, his father and Appo's style, which relied on outrageous speed. He learned this from a scroll that was left to him, the Hitake style, which mostly involved great reflexes with speed, and a good chunk of the Uzumaki style, which was built around unpredictability. He liked certain aspects of every style, but wanted to combine them into an amazing style that could end an Appo's. TB truly counted. The power of the strong fist, the read and react of the interceptor, along with his dojutsu when he needed it, the pure speed of his father and Appo's style, the reflexes of the Hitake style and the unpredictability of the Uzumaki style. If he could successfully combine all 5, then he could become almost unbeatable in a taijutsu fight. But creating your own style is difficult as it is. Add combining 5 vastly different styles to the mix and it would take years. But then again, Naruto could get a year's worth of work done in a 6-hour workout. With his godly chakra reserves, good chakra control and the shadow clone jutsu, he could make almost 1500 clones and have them all last almost 6 hours. There was a huge downside though, when he dispelled that many clones after more than 4 hours of training, no matter how spaced out, he would pass out for at least an hour from information overload. Right, now he was dispelling groups of 50 from his group of 500. First the chakra control group, then the elemental groups, then the jutsu groups and finally the group working on the Sharingan seal. He had the basics of sealing from Kakashi and a lot of different scrolls from what his father left him, along with the 1 to 2 times he would see Jiraiya a year. He still had to make Chunin to be able to move into the house his parents had left him, but that didn't bother him. He still had a lot of work to do before he felt worthy to live there anyways. The clone group had assembled the seal, but there were still kinks to be worked out, so he would finish and apply the seal tomorrow. The last group left to be dispelled was the taijutsu group. He had them fighting each other, switching up styles and finding the strongest pieces of each style. So far he felt he had a great base to start from. He had picked the pieces to use and enough to fill the gaps in between the opposing styles. I'll start it at about 4 o'clock, that way when I pass out, it will be nighttime anyways, Naruto mused out loud. As he reviewed his plan on building the style he was imagining. That afternoon, 4:00 and Arpos. Clock Naruto had just made a little more than 1500 shadow clones, the most he had made up to this point in his life, but from the calculations he had on, he would need as many as possible to get the base of the style down tonight, and was now giving him instructions. And quote, okay, split into groups of 60. Each group take 2 styles and start to combine the predetermined moves, stances, and katas. Anyone left over, work on mastering the stages of our dojutsu we have unlocked. We most likely are going to need it, and I don't want it to drain as much chakra as it did last time. After 2 hours, you will dispel in groups of 60 every minute. Begin, and quote, he commanded. Naruto knew he was going to be vulnerable when he passed out, so while his clones worked to combine the styles, he was searching for a tree to sleep in. He found a branch that would be able to support him, and started watching the clones work. He was surprised to see at the half-hour mark that a couple of the combined styles were working together extremely well, though others were failing to fully work together. This was to be expected and he had already planned for it. He took clones from the groups that were making great progress and sent him to groups having trouble. At the 2-hour mark he got an idea. And quote, everyone listen up. Battle Royal, everyone versus everyone, use only the combination you and Arpos, V been working on. Begin, and quote. The clones all started to fight each other, though it seemed odd to him that the clones being dispelled were taking longer and longer between kills. He mulled it over in his head as the clones continued to kill each other. After about half the group had been dispelled, he saw why they were taking longer and longer still. The clones were actually adapting the combined styles they were using for their opponent. The longer a clone survived, the better and better the clone got at making adjustments. That meant that his finished product could do this too. He could literally tweak his new style to a new opponent and make it the best possible combination. In short, if he lasted long enough, he almost could end an Arpos. Be beaten. His head was starting to throb. He knew that if he didn't start to try to sort out the mass influx of information that he would most likely pass out and have to stop his training, and he wouldn't have that, not yet. He started to meditate and work through the information. He found it rather easy, as he had done this before but not to this scale. After about 10 minutes, the throbbing stopped and he had finished sorting the feedback, and he had to say, he was extremely happy. The work his clones put in was ridiculous. They had almost perfectly worked out all the major kinks between the styles. Sure, there was some slips every here or there, but every style had those. He took an hour break from his training and started the mental preparation for the next stage of the combination. After he had prepared, he created another batch of shadow clones. He was surprised that he actually matched the original number. He had figured there would be a rather large drop-off. Alright, get in groups of 25. Start to combine the styles. Hopefully when you're done we have a decent base to build the new style off of. Get cracking. After 3 hours, another battle royal. Begin. The real Naruto commanded and watched as he saw all the clones form groups of 25 and get to work combining all the styles. About an hour after he started to work on the combination of styles, he decided to check up on his team. He really didn't need to show them all the memories he had, but he did have a reason for it. Inari had to learn what the world could be like. The kid had a rough life, but there is always someone with a worse life than you. Sakura needed to see that as well. She was too much of a fangirl to realize what was going on around her, and he needed to explain that to her in a way she couldn't just look away from. Sasuke needed a reality check. Plus, if it turned out that he and the last Uchiha could become closer, that would help team dynamics and he might even make a friend out of it, but that was pushing it. Naruto made a clone to watch over his training and went off to meet up with his team and get some food. Tazuna and Arpos' house. 15 minutes later the team was starting to get worried. Well, Sasuke and Sakura were. Kakashi seemed to relax more and more as time passed. And quote, we need to go find him. What if he and Arpos' hurt? He and Arpos' not that bright and he could have hurt himself training and quote, stated Sakura. Kakashi just glared at her. Not only had he already told her that he was fine 13 times. She was refusing an order to stop asking about what he was doing, and with her continuously berating his intelligence, it was a wonder how she could end an Arpos. See that the Naruto they knew in the academy and the Naruto they know now are two completely different people. And quote, Naruto has been trained by myself, Asuma Sarutobi, Maito Gai, and most of Anbu. He has had one-on-one time with the Hokage himself. He can handle training. Trust me, maybe instead of sitting here all day you could have trained and made yourself stronger for our next fight with Zabuza. At least Sasuke is meditating. Unquote. Stated Kakashi coldly. If he could, he would drop them both and just train Naruto. He would in a heartbeat, but the council would make his life a living hell, and he was already on their shit list for having Naruto on his team. They wanted him to apprentice Sasuke and give up all ties to Naruto. He told them to go fuck themselves and ended up with the Banshee as well. It was true that Sasuke was meditating. Kakashi had suggested it to calm his nerves, but all it did was make him think. That in itself had both helped and hurt the young Uchiha and Appo's mental state. He had dredged up old memories that had been forgotten long ago. Some happy, some sad, but Harry was two memories that kept replaying in his mind over and over. The first was rather simple. It was the night of the massacre, just before Itachi put him in the genjutsu that made him relive the events. Itachi was crying. He had so much pain and anguish in his eyes that you could see it, even through the Sharingan. Had Itachi regret what he did? Was he forced to? These thoughts triggered another memory. Actually, two memories. Flashback, night of the massacre. Sasuke had just finished his first round of the mental torture of watching his clan slaughtered. He could N and R pose, T move and was about to pass out from the emotional pain he was feeling. But just before his world went black, a golden-haired Anbu appeared in his line of vision and picked him up off the ground. The last thing he remembered before everything went black was what the Anbu said and quote, "I won an R pose. T let you down Itachi, I an R pose. LL make sure I save your brother, just like you helped save me and quote." Flashback end. Sasuke now knew who that Anbu was. It was his blonde teammate, but what he said that night did in an R pose. T makes sense to him. What did it mean? Flashback, Sasuke's 10th birthday. Sasuke had just made it home from the academy. It was another boring day, but then again, when you an R pose, better than everyone, that seems to happen quite a bit. He was about to enter his home when spotted a present sitting in the doorstep. He was surprised to see it there. Only people with authorization even allowed to walk in the compound, let alone bring anything in. He picked up the box and took it inside. When he opened it, he found a pair of white and blue arm warmers and a new blue shirt with the Uchiha fan on the back. In the box was a note that read and quote, "Dear Sasuke, I know how hard it is to be alone. Just remember that if you an R pose, ever in trouble, I an R pose, LL be there as soon as I can. Best of luck in the future N. You." Unquote. Flashback end. Naruto was there for him all along. And all he ever did was insult the blonde. He needed to change that. He wasn't an R pose. T about to let his ego get in the way this time. He would find a friend in Naruto, and he would do whatever Naruto needed to be happy, just like Naruto had tried to do for him. Suddenly the door opened and in walked the blonde. And quote, "What an R pose. S for dinner. I and R pose. M starved." Unquote.
Hope you all enjoyed this fanfiction what if, and my documents are all dismissed. Please take care, stay safe. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. 100 likes for part 2, and please go support the creator. Links will be in the description below, and peace.